But she did want to wear that burqa as part of a protest, I guess she calls it. Let's get some reaction live from the Shadow Attorney General, Andrew Wallace. What do you make of Pauline Hanson and what's been described as a burqa stunt?
Tom, look, I don't really even want to give it any airtime. The media is giving Pauline enough airtime as it is. I think ultimately people should be able to wear religious garments if they genuinely hold those views, but if it's done in some for some other reason, then, if, for instance, if someone came in wearing a nun's habit, then, I would take exception to that.
Her dinner, steak dinner with Barnaby Joyce, that's a bizarre look, isn't it? I just can't recall someone from a major party this openly courting going to another one, and it's still fine for them to stay where they are. This is pretty embarrassing for the Nationals, isn't it?
Well, look,
humiliating.
Would you say the same thing if I had a meal with Julian Hill, for example?
Well, if you were not denying in public that you might go to the Labor Party, I'd say, yeah, that's pretty embarrassing for the LNP.
Yeah, fair enough. But look, people should be able to associate or have a meal with a colleague if that's what they want to do. But
that's
look,
not what this is.
I'm not focused on, and I can tell you now, the coalition is not focused on what Barnaby Joyce is doing.
Well, a few of the Nats are, I can tell you that. There's a few comments going around.
We are absolutely focused on the Australian people and ensuring that we get energy prices down. The cost of living is just out of control for everyday Australians. That's what the sort of stuff that we're focused on.
But you can see it looks humiliating for a party, sort of desperate to have him back, and while he's having apart from anything else, I'm not sure how a steak on a sandwich press goes, but apparently it was all right.
It would be very brave for a Liberal Party member to comment on what's going on, the machinations in the National Party, Tom. So
you can be brave. Us having a chat with a few lights, a couple of TV cameras.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No? All right. Social media.
Yes.
So the ban's on December 10. We've seen the advertising, clarified who's in, who's out. How do you feel this is set up? Has it been well designed? Is it going to work?
Well, I have always said, and bearing in mind that this was the coalition that instigated this in the first place, we had to bring the government kicking and screaming to institute this reform. I was talking to my wife the other day, a rare occasion. Hello if you're watching, but she told me the story about it had come on social media that a young man who was 15 years old and he was sextorted he was involved in it, but it only happened once. And it went from this young man who was leading a normal life to 2 hours later he took his own life. And unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident. Our young Australians are being preyed upon in many ways, but one of them is in relation to sextortion. And much of this is being perpetrated by way of social media. We've got to protect our young kids. They are our most vulnerable, and we have an obligation to ensure that they don't get caught up in this sort of nonsense.
And there's a lot of agreement on that because of the damage you alluded to.
Yeah.
I mean, that heartbreak for that family.
Yeah.
So the question gets to, this is going to be difficult. It's never been done before.
Yep.
It's not going to go perfectly, is it? And to what extent will the coalition go, oh, Labor's done this terribly, or before the event, we know how the rules are. Are you willing to say, yep, this has been designed pretty well, let's hope it works, and they can tinker with it as they go?
Look, this is a world first. The world is watching how this is all going to unravel and how it's going to work. Probably poor choice of terms, unravel, but...
unfold.
Unfold, yeah, how this is going to unfold. We cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good here.
Okay.
We've got to ensure, first and foremost, that we keep as our primary responsibility of protecting the lives and welfare of young kids. Now, will it be perfect? It's not going to be perfect.
And if it doesn't work, realistically, that will likely be the social media companies not wanting it to. I mean, if they really want to do with the resources they have, they could make this work pretty well if they want to. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think we need to incentivise them to make sure that they are locked in.
A stick or a carrot?
Both. We need to ensure that it is in their best interests to look after young Australians.
What's the carrot? Where's the carrot for them?
Well, I think that social media platforms, tech companies have taken a lot of bark off themselves over the last couple of years. And I know that there are some efforts being undertaken by some of these tech companies to try and demonstrate, not enough in my view, but to try and demonstrate that they are trying to take this issue seriously.
Right.
So
So you'll give a thumbs up to Facebook if they do this well?
If they do this well, I will absolutely give them a thumbs up.
Okay.
But will there be people that will get around this? Yes, there will be. But Tom, people speed, but that doesn't mean that we don't have speed limits.
All right. Andrew Wallace, got to leave it there. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.